It's going whenever you're ready.
Number 1, record of turning on the cassette dictaphone and pressing play and record. I can hear the tape turning within it, and there's a red light on the side of it.
Good start. Is it? No, it was a good start.
Does it need to be flipped in some way, like some kind of function? Oh God. Oh wow.
Technological failure.
I wonder what this VAS thing is on. Wow, I wonder why it's not worked. That's so strange.
Well, that's fine, let's just film. So.
Maybe try to get it in the test. Sorry, I'm
That's alright.
in the film.
Record 2. Trying to re-record the first record from this, even though it didn't work the first time. Once again, I can hear the tape turning and the light flash, the lights on. I'm now going to stop it and rewind it to play it back to see if I can hear it. No?
No.
Unless you have to have headphones to listen to it.
Let's have a look. Oh, God damn. No, my mum definitely uses it. Right, let's try again. Because it's not recorded any of the before stuff either, has it?
No.
Put them both down together. Is it working now?
To play it back to see if I can hear it. What?
Okay, I have no idea what happened then, but it seemed to work.
Alright, so at least it worked. So.
Isn't that weird?
What did you press down together?
I put them down together. Put them both down together. But I rewounded it off. That's because I've been fast forwarding it. Let's see what happens now. Did I switch something? Trying it again. Voice activated system, that's what it is.
Trying it again. Right.
I wonder if it doesn't record until you start speaking at a certain volume. Anyway, it is definitely working. We just haven't quite worked out how. So, I did press them both down together. I think that's helping.
Okay.
It shouldn't make any difference.
Record number 3 attempts to re-record message 1 and record 2, which were both attempts to record this recording. I've pushed down the play and the record button at the same time, and I'm speaking louder into the end that I think the microphone is in. record of sitting back into the chair and feeling the chair rest on my back shoulder and my ankle on my right leg. The position feels relatively comfortable and quite enjoyable to be in. Record number 5 is playing the recording from the Sony digital dictaphone into the Sanyo analog dictaphone.
Oh, is it working? It is. Phone interview with Brian Lavery, my first ever professional journalistic interview with one of the top playwrights in the UK. I was a bit nervous about it and I wasn't sure how I was supposed to have this like phone interview entrance.
The record went reasonably well, although I'm not sure the volume of the Sony digital dictaphone would have been picked up in the Sanyo analog cassette dictaphone. Record number 6 is rewriting out the record of all the records that we've just written out. Interestingly, the handwriting in the new record of the old record is much less legible than the old record is. I think it might be due to my position on the floor and the speed at which I was writing. Record number 6 is a record of everything that I've done today. I got home at about 2 o'clock this morning after cycling home from work. The cycle back was, I got a bit lost and ended up on New York Road instead of Meanwood Road. And Meanwood Road is quite a long incline, so I had to stop halfway home and cycle back. Then when I got back, my housemaid had made bread pudding, so we ate a piece of that, and I poured a glass of wine and drank that because it had been left on the side. Then I went to bed, but first of all I brushed my teeth, I went to the toilet, and then I went to bed, I went to sleep. And then I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning, but then I pressed snooze 3 times, I think, so it was late getting out of bed because I was quite tired from the shift at work last night. Then got up and had a shower, used the bathroom, I went downstairs and had some multi-grain hoops, which is Aldi's equivalent to multi-Cheerios, although they're like £3 cheaper, and a banana, and then I had a glass of orange juice with that as well, and I washed that up, and I moved my bike from outside to inside, and then I got dressed out of my dressing gown and walked to university. I walked through the little alleyway which goes from my house along a little stream and then over Meanwood Ridge. I was on the phone to my boyfriend at the time and talking about what we were going to do next weekend, and he went for a walk in Kent yesterday. I was telling you all about that. As I walked up the hill, I got a bit out of breath and tired, and my phone signal kept going in and out, and it sounds quite strange when he spoke. It went all crackly. Then at the top of the hill, there's a series of ginnels, which is like long and really straight alleys that go pretty much from the top of this hill straight to university. So I walked through them, and I noticed as you come to the end of them, it's quite strange because it's really long and narrow, but you get to this big square at the bottom. And I always think that's quite an interesting contrast in shapes. And then I walked up along Woodhouse Lane past the university, and I turned right. I turned right a bit early and ended up in some strange place that I wouldn't normally go to, where there was a park with lots of gravestones on the floor. So I turned back and turned right further down, and walked through the little alleyways to the refectory. And then that's where I met Joe, and we had a coffee. Well, I was sat on the bench first, and then we went and had a coffee, and then we came up into this space and began this process.
Okay, try recording the recording. So you've done the recording, and now you're recording the fact that you've done the recording. So you're recording what you've just recorded, and like commentating on the quality of the recording or the experience of the recording using the other recorders. So you can like record, because one of my key observations is, oh my god, I want to hear it back. That's the first thing. It's like, you can't record it and not play it back, or you can, but it's going to be delicious when we hear it back. So, I mean, especially the writing, I'd be really interested to hear that. And I liked that diversion and the fact that we had to wait for you to do it as well in its fullness. Yeah. But I mean, and I'm thinking, you know, we've seen you do it, we've sat there, we've stayed with it, and then we've not heard it, and it's like, oh my god. But if we heard it like further along, like half an hour long, if we just sat and listened to, that'd be really interesting. But I think I'm quite interested in the interplay between hearing you playing things back.
Yeah.
So you're recording you're recording the act of recording. It's just like the interaction between the two machines, I think, just to see where that might go. But just as a little thing to try next. Hoping that it's worked, of course. Isn't it weird? I wonder if that needs to go off or something. Have you rewound it? Rewound. Because that's fast forward, I think.
Oh.
That might be what part of the problem is, possibly.
That probably is the problem.
Technology. Failure. We're going to have a good list of technology failures by the time we're done, aren't we?
Quite like this chair.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dressing gown and walked to university.
Yay!
Woo. voice.
We always hate our sad about our voices.
I've got some particularly horrendous videos because the bits where oh god, I'm videoing it all, like doing things like that. But videos where I like go in and like, oh. I know you never see my face. They're always at the back of my head, like walking in. And I always think, oh my god, I need to go to the gym.
Yeah, that's usually my thought whenever I see myself in a photo or film. I think I've gone way too far back now.
So what you could be doing is like you could be recording like some kind of you could be recording on the digital dictaphone the act of finding the data. So you could be a lot of Elephant in the Room was what's the word? Commentary.
Yeah.
So you're commentating on yourself. So you can be commentating on yourself making a record. You can comment on yourself. You can commentate on yourself listening back to the record. You can commentate on your commentation,
Yeah.
and it just keeps on going and going and going. I think.
So right now I am trying to find out where the record of the records that I created began on the tape. This is proving quite difficult, and I think I've rewound too far. But I quite like the noise that the tape makes as it spins around. To me it's kind of like the noise of nothingness. This kind of fuzz that doesn't really mean anything, it doesn't have any opinions or thoughts, it's just like the equivalent of grey. I'm now going to fast forward the tape to try and find where I begin speaking with the first record of the record of records. Okay, now I've found the first record, but I've gone past the beginning of it, so I'm going to rewind the record of the records back to where I think it begins. The beginning of the record actually starts with Joe speaking, where we were attempting to figure out how to use the old dictaphone. It's interesting because we instinctively knew how to use the modern one much more easily than this one, and it's easy to find where things begin and end on it. Unfortunately, what's happened is we've actually recorded over records number 1 and records number 2. Record number 1 was a record of how to use the analog dictaphone and which buttons you had to press and what functions they'd have. And then record number 2 was a record of that record. But actually what's happened is they haven't been recorded over, it's just the beginning section that's had it recorded over, like when you made a mixtape as a kid, and you would accidentally press play record, and then that would go over the top of something else. It's interesting, I didn't think my voice ever went that high when I was recording records before. But it turns out it sometimes goes quite high, and I think that's got a quite strange inflection. It's not one that I've really ever listened to back before. So as I listened to that record back, I tried to recreate the position that I was recording in to see if the record was a particularly useful archive, and because surely the point of having an archive of all these things is so you can recreate them exactly as they were the first time round, but I'm actually not as comfortable as I was the first time round, and I think I've got the wrong leg and the wrong ankle on the armchair, but I might be wrong there, which I guess means in the first record, the analogue record, I should have put a more detailed description in, so that way I'll be able to use that record more effectively in the future. The new position doesn't feel relatively comfortable.
Enjoyable to be in. Record number 5 is playing the recording from the Sony digital dictaphone into the Sanyo analog dictaphone.
Okay, so now I'm going to replay the record from this dictaphone, which is recorded in this dictaphone, back into this dictaphone. It's interesting because it sounds like Joe's speaking from really far away and it's quite hard to hear her, but the noise that's all around it is quite loud.